Alrighty guys, April 10th out here. As you can see, it's plenty wet. Grass is greening up, but it's still water standing. About the time it dries up enough to drive across the field, it rains. We'll have a video one of these days of stuff running in the field. A couple guys I'd heard had tried to work a little ground in the area, put a little anhydrous on, but I haven't seen anything yet. Probably a mad scrambling to get going. And we did get another planter. For those of you that had seen, we'd posted one for sale. Sold our white 5100, and we bought another planter. But show you that when we get in the field. I'll show you it now, but it's over at Dad's house. So, but figured a couple of you, I haven't felt like making a video in a while, but I figured a couple of you guys probably wondering what I've done here at the mill. Mill, I had to do some work on it here once I got it going. I did mix up a batch of feed, but it took a little while to kind of get figured out how to get the thing to work the best, and I am happy with the result of it. Run the 3/4 screen, ground the hay up, and of course I got it all mixed together here. I was talking to Ted Kaler and Nate, and I think I'm gonna take my 3/8 screen, because I'm never gonna use it because it just grind it too fine, and I'm gonna probably drill some bigger holes in it to try to leave the hay a little longer when I grind it, because I supposedly the hay, if you grind it too fine, the cattle can't digest it as well, and they're rumen, or it doesn't. I can't remember what it doesn't do, but it doesn't if you grind it too fine. So I'm going to try to make that screen, see if I can get about 1.5 inch or 2 inch hole in it and see how it does instead of the 3/4 hole. Right now they're eating just a little over 100 pounds of dry material a day, which is 8 buckets, 4 in the morning, 4 in the evening. Put some gravel down here to control the mud. But I was working on the mill here this morning a little bit. It worked good, but it just had some problems with it. It vibrates real bad, and so I'm going to show you how I'm going to go about balancing it. There's a hay rake. They're not done yet, but getting closer on it. But I'm going to kind of show you here how I balance the thing. When I took this thing apart or got it, there was a dead possum in here, and it had rusted away of one of the blades. It still had the shape quite a bit, but the thickness of the blade was on this blower here was about half gone on this blade. So I tried 20 different combinations, but finally got it balanced pretty good. It's balanced really good, because with the hammers out of it, it runs really smooth. You could like set a marble on top and it would just stay there. Had to add some washers and whatnot and little bolts in here. I got that all balanced out, but it's just rusted away part of the thickness of that. But then it still had a vibration, so I went in and I pulled all the hammers and stuff out, and I'll explain on how to set all this up here in the way I was taught to do this stuff once I finish cleaning the parts up. But in case any of you guys are wondering, that seal kind of works. I added another piece of rubber in there, second one, and the whole tank load left, probably a coffee can, and it built this much up in probably the first 20 minutes or so, and it just once it got a little packed in around it, it wasn't bad. So yeah, it's probably not going to worry about that too much more for the amount of work it would take to. I'd have to about weld the shaft up and polish it back down to make it a little nicer. I can live with just a little bit of a leak there. But anyway, here, thanks to C. Smith, he had made a video He's got a Model 100 mix all, which I really don't know what the difference is between them because this is only 100 bushel. On what the owner's manual said as far as them keeping everything in balance, because I don't have an owner's manual yet. The guy I got it from said he had the manuals for it. He just had to find them in the basement, and so get those at some point. But these things aren't all in a line. Sometimes you start with a bushing and then a hammer, and sometimes a hammer and a bushing, and then they got this. Then they got these ones that are offset here, and all 3 rows have 22 hammers on them. But then 2 of the rows got 22 bushings, and 1 row only has 21 bushings. But then it's got more flat washers on the end of the rod, and so I'm going to weigh the rods, get them set up straight, and then what I'll do, or is taught to do, and they do this at chopper knives on the combine. You find, like here where you got a row of 3 of them, you find 3 knives that are identical weight, and you put one on one row, one on the next row, one on the next row, right across from each other. And so I'll take one out of this group, one out of this group, and one out of this group, and try to find that are the exact weight. I'm going to turn them while I got them out. There's still some life left in the side. Like, here's one that's pretty worn. That's pretty worn on. It's not bad on this side. There's still some life left there, but it's pretty bad here. And this is probably where they get out of round, is because some of them are worn a lot more than other ones are, or where they get out of balance. And so both of this side will be used, and it's been using this hole. We'll start using this hole. And I got 2 fresh cutting edges here, and so I'll pick one of these sides and do that. But so yeah, so I'll start weighing them here. I'm gonna obviously weigh the rods first, and then I'll weigh the bushings and the flat washers and try to get all that evened up. And then when I get all those, the mounting assembly all weighed just right, then I will weigh the hammers. Alright, weighed everything out here. As you can see, the rods are within 1 gram of each other. The flat washers where I run into the problem here at the this one's got 6 flat washers because it's short 1 bushing, which puts it, see we got 1,089 as our total weight, 1,091, and then we're up to 1,126 on the, I call the blue one because I just spray painted a little blue paint on them to keep them separate. And if I can take away, which 4 flat washers is the same thickness as 1 bushing, so I don't know if it maybe had another bushing at one time and they lost that and put some flat washers in, or what happened. But so what I got to do is I'm gonna see when I go back together here, but I think after I weigh all the hammers, but I'm gonna probably take where was I going with that one? If I took out 4 flat washers and added 1 bushing to it, it would get me to like 1,095, I think, is what the weight was, which would be pretty close to these, and then I might be able to grind on the rod just a little bit to bring the weight down to match up with these other numbers here. Then that's only a 2 gram difference, which isn't bad. I don't even think that stupid thing shut off, but that's about a lock washer. I think is about 2 grams, or maybe the nut. But so yeah, so that's where we're at. I'll start weighing the hammers here. We're making some headway here. On to set number 16 here. I got all those are together, and when I go back to put it together, I'll put the first rod in, and I'll just start. I put this rod in the cylinder first, and I just start here, put that one on, and then this one, this one, this one, and then as long as I come back on the next set and do the same thing on the next ones, you just start with this and just work your way across. And then these are pairs that are the same number here. And then if I just got all these other ones here and I just start looking for ones that are the same number as it, and you can see like this last one was 220 grams each is what they were. The next one was 211, 215, 230, and then I had one here was like 218, 218, and then 219, and like 216, 215, 216, and you just keep going across, and eventually, every now and then, if I couldn't find one at all that would match, I just had to, grind off on one side of it to, I would just come in here on the worn side of it and just grind some off until it weighed what it should have. Well, got it all out here and back together, and it works really good. Actually, I'm kind of surprised, but I'm glad it does. Take this apart, you line the 3 rows up. There's this plate you take off right here, and you can take the cotter key off of this side. That's kind of a pain, and slide it out that way. And you can see a couple of these I really had to grind quite a bit off. Getting down towards the end, I was just running out of matches for the knives, and so some of these I had, match, ones that were pretty heavy compared to other ones up with, and I had to grind quite a bit off, like that one there. You can see I took quite a bit off it, and I took quite a bit off of that one. But then the third one in here, I didn't take anything off of because this was a light one and I had to get it all to match up. So there's hardly any vibration at all. Even once I got the hammers, you could just hear the thing rattling. It was just hammering away. When I first got it going, it was just horrible. And then I fixed that fan blade there, and that took away a fair amount of it, but it was still really bad. And so, yeah. Now you can just hear the whir of the fan. You could never hear that before because it was just so loud. I need to put some more tape around that. It had duct tape that looked like from the factory, and I need to go back with that, I guess. Then I had to put a new hydraulic motor on it because the old one that was actually locked up, it gotten water down in here and must have sat full of water, and yeah, ruined that. This is kind of handy the way that folds up. But now I think about got it. If I can get my scale back, I haven't heard anything else on that. Probably call them the end of this week, see if they figured anything out, but kind of handy if it does have to sit outside for a night or so. You can put that over it and keep stuff out. Got a little bit of corn up in here that I had in my wagon, and I was wanting to get them started on their ration, so I just ran it back into here. But yeah, it does a really nice job of mixing. I did something Corey Trout had told me to fill it up part of the way with corn and let it run for a little bit with whole corn before you go to use it, and I did, and that kind of helped clean some of the rust off, especially on the cone. And I think that really just helped it mix a lot better. Just kind of get things slicked back up again, because it's probably been at least 10 years since this thing was used. But anyway, well, maybe in the next video of this I'll have hopefully be grinding with it, but hopefully we'll have some in the field here coming up. Hopefully it's next week, but we never know. So thanks for watching.